Hi, my name is Sandy Parker, and this is going to be my very first video. It's a tour of my craft room in a series of videos I'm calling Crafting for Almost Everyone. About 30 years ago, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and although it's pretty much everywhere in my body, my hands have been really affected by it. And although I consider them perfectly normal, they're workable, other people may not. If my hands kind of freak you out and you don't want to look at them, really go find a video that works for you, because this video is really for the people that need to know about products and tools that will benefit them and different techniques that might work for them that they've maybe not tried, and ideas that we can come up with together. It's about working outside your comfort zone and finding a place to be creative and fun. And with that in mind, let's start my tour. Everything in my room is set to this level or lower because that's all the higher I can reach. I have repurposed a lot of my room from garage sales and other finds, and of course IKEA. Gotta have IKEA. The room was my husband's office, and he graciously traded me spaces, so it looks a little bit masculine, but I love the dogs. We've had dogs like this in the past, and so I love the dogs, and so that's not a problem. And speaking of dogs, this is where our baby Bella lives when she's having a down day. We never shut the door, but Bella likes to have her own space every now and then when she's a little bit anxious, so she goes in there. She's a golden retriever, by the way. We have two goldens, Aggie, who's 14 and a half, and Bella, who's 4. They're, besides my husband Rich, they're the loves of my life, and love everything about them. So we do everything we can to spoil them completely. This is where I keep my dies. I don't have a lot of dies because I'm not really good with the Cuttlebug or the Big Kick or the Big Shot, whatever. It's the crank part of it. Probably if I'd been into the crafting more at the time that I bought it, I might have gone with the Vagabond that's electric. I don't think I'd go for the Cricut because I don't really want to go into that much technology. I just really want to emboss and cut. That new thing, I think it's called the Emboss and Cut or Cut and Emboss. I might look into that at some point. Anyway, no, that's not what it's called. Anyway, I might look into the tool that came out recently. This is a repurposed shelving unit that works great for the ribbons that I have. Okay, I'll admit it, I have kind of a crazy ribbon obsession, and I love to display anything that's pretty, and the colors of those ribbons really spoke to me. And below it are my penny black stamps. Love the Hedgehog series, and I also love the House Mouse series, so I have them displayed. Wooden stamps really make me happy just to display them in general, but they make me happy. I don't normally have a light displayed on them, but we didn't have enough light in this area so you couldn't see it, so we have this crazy lighting kit on it, so it looks like ta-da! But I'm over it. Anyway. This is where I keep my 4x6 and 6x6 pads of paper. I probably have more of those than I need, but I do try to donate to the library anytime I get a pad that I decide I really don't like, so that they can benefit from them. The Frugal Crafter is my idol. Love her videos. If you've never watched them, watch them. She has such great ideas on do-it-yourself crafting, and so with that in mind, I bought a lot of do-it-yourself tools, and this is where I keep them all. You have to have extra supplies, a lot of things like gesso, and okay, I have a lot of Mod Podge. I think I have a half a gallon bottle of it, but this is just where I keep all of my do-it-yourself tools. I have a cinch that will make albums, and we're going to at some point do that. Haven't used it yet, but I'm going to. That's where I keep my beads and my glitter, and below it is where I keep my holiday stamps and my every other holiday and Christmas stamps. Then up here is where I keep my bobbly embellishments and googly eyes. My mother, who's passed away, would just be so tickled that I have googly eyes, because I always have said if I ever bought googly eyes that I've lost my mind. But there they are, proof that I've lost my mind. I bought this button box from a sweet old lady at a church sale. She really convinced me that these were lifelong buttons and I had to have them, but really they're pretty recent buttons, and I got a kick out of that. She was a great saleswoman though. This is where I keep my acrylic paints. I keep them upside down in here. This is just a spare. And I write the name on the bottom so that I can look at the colors really quickly. I know it's a spill hazard, but the box was $1, and so I'm not worried about it. I know it's not gorgeous, but it works like a champ. Oh, here's something funny. There was no way to keep the box in place, so I glued popsicle sticks back there, and now it doesn't fall out. I'm like MacGyver, for those of you who are old enough to remember. This is my rack that holds my craft inks from Stampin' Up! I love them because they're really easily accessible, but not as accessible as my other ones, and you'll see that in a minute. Gotta have a duck. This is where I keep my my projects that I finished. This is a box I made. We'll make boxes. We'll make all kinds of fun things like that. This is where I keep another crazy thing. I like the deco foil, and I have a lot of it. Never used it, but it's a project we're gonna do. And then here is my absolute favorite thing in my room. The favoritist. Is that a word? Anyway, most favorite. Of course now it's gonna get stuck. There. It's a K-cup holder. For those of you who drink coffee, you probably know it's for a Keurig. And I bought it at a garage sale. The lady says, $3 too much? And I was like, no. And I thought, this would be great for washi tape. Little did I know that my crazy washi tape obsession would spill over into more drawers. So I'm going to need another one of those. And I love them. Of course, I spray painted it. It was black, and it didn't make me happy. I got this at IKEA. It holds all of my punches. I do love the punches because the punches work instantly. I don't have to fuss or get anything set up or crank anything. I just punch it and be done. I have 3 lines that I absolutely recommend. Stampin' Up!, EK Success, and the Fiskars squeeze ones. I didn't think I could use those Fiskars squeeze ones, but honestly, they're very easy to squeeze, so I recommend them. Marker Space, self-explanatory. Xyrons, if you don't know what a Xyron is, it's the coolest thing ever. It makes anything into a sticker. So this makes an 1.5 inch sticker, and this makes a 5-inch sticker. So if you have something weird that you want to stick on a card, you run it through there, as long as it's not too thick, you run it through there, and out comes a sticker. This holds my Stampin' Up! Wooden stamps that are still in kits, and my Crop-A-Dile that punches holes. I didn't think I could use that, but it does work pretty well. You'll see me do it. I struggle a little bit, but it does work. I also have gelatos in there. I recommend gelatos. They're really cool to use. If you don't, okay, and buy the kids version. They're just like the gelatos. Lindsay the Frugal Crafter did a big test on them, and she sees no difference. And I have both kinds, and I don't notice a difference, but that's something you need to try for yourself. Then over here I have my red rubber stamps. Red rubber stamps are great, but they're heavy. So I only have, you can see, about 4 or 5 pages of them in each book. And I have them categorized by floral, other, words, and background, and that works for me. Then this is where I keep all of my catalogs from different companies, and mostly my journals. I keep journals on YouTube videos that I watch that have techniques. And the techniques that I want to make sure that I understand, I'll reference back to this. And I recommend that. Also, when you do it, you should write down the name of the person that does the video and the date of the video, the name of the video, so you can reference back to it if you need to. It really works great. I recommend that very, very highly. Okay, I'll tell you just quickly. I know I'm going fast, but there's so much to show you. I have a love-hate relationship with ATG guns. This is something that we'll talk about more in detail, but I have 3 different kinds of them, and frankly, I'm not sure what the deal is. Going forward, if you don't have any cutting devices, these are the ones to buy. The Fiskars are the easiest for people like us. The rotary cutters are too hard for me to push. You have to push down on them. I can't do it. The angle doesn't work. So these ones work much, much easier, and it really gives you a good field of vision on them, if that makes sense. I recommend them very highly. Oh, and if you're going to get them, the 12-inch one works best because you don't know if you're going to go to 12-inch paper, and if you do go to 12-inch paper, you want to have the access to cutting it. This is where I keep all of my paper in color order, alphabetically. Going back to my banking, I was really kind of obsessive about filing and alphabetizing, and throwing things out. I love to throw things out. Anyway, that's where I keep my paper. In here is where I keep those spare ATG guns. Don't think I don't have that one. And I have this one, and I don't know. I'm not a fan of them. Okay, I'm going to talk very quickly about these. I really like the Rock-A-Block. If you don't have a Rock-A-Block system, they rock back and forth, but it really makes it easier for people like us to be able to stamp. But this kind of was hard to hold on to for me. So when I went to a craft show and they had this for $1 and I loved it because it had that great big handle on it. It's really lightweight. So I bought some acrylic blocks that didn't have grids on them, and I just took a T-square and I made lines so I know where they're where my stamp should go. And then Tim Holtz makes this line of these doorknobs. You should get those if you have trouble with these, because then you can really hold on to your stamps or your blocks. Then Tim Holtz makes a line of these plastic things in different sizes and shapes. They're squares and rectangles, and they look like this. I don't know if you can see them. And then this is the biggest one in there. What I did is, when I found that, I thought, geez, that's really cool. I think I'm going to get one of these and use it for stamping. So that's what I did. Love it, I have to say. I do have a MISTI. We'll be using the MISTI. I also have the Fisker push down thing. I don't love that as much. And then of course you got to have the purple thing that I can't remember the name of. Then over here is where I have my distress inks and the tools that you distress with. You got to have all that accessible to you right at hand. This is where I have all of my tools that are stickles, etc. Then I bought this cassette. It's a wooden cassette holder, and this is where all my Stampin' Up! Inks are. I love it. I also have a drawer for envelopes, etc. And then over here is where my dirty obsession comes into play. This is where I have my ribbon. I love this thing. It was the coolest thing. It's, I think they call it a purse. I don't know. But it's called Memor-EZ. I don't know. But anyway, I bought it because I thought I could really store my ribbon in it. Well, I forgot that I'm crazy about ribbon, and so I filled it up too full. Then I started getting ribbon in smaller amounts, and I put it in here, and then I tried quilling, and I couldn't quill, but I like the quilling papers, so I kept the ones I had left, and I'm going to use those. I have used them in cards. That's my extra ribbons and burlaps and things that just didn't fit anywhere else. Whoop. Oh, and I know you think, oh, that's not that much ribbon because I only have that one on the wall. But then we have this container that has a little bit more ribbon in it and twine, etc. And then below that is where I keep my Memento inks. Did you get those? And then I went, oh, that's my Cuttlebug, etc. This is my wooden stamp area. I love wooden stamps, as I said, and especially the Carolyn Shores Wright birds. Love her stamps. She's the greatest. She makes birds come to life in a way that no one else does. Look at the expression on that bird's face. It is the coolest thing. He is so smug, and he's just so sarcastic, and just with a look, I love him. My absolute favorite stamp in the whole world is the 4 birds stamps that she did. When I got this, I was just in love, and I've made it so many times. And if you get it for me in a card, you know I really love you, because I hand paint those very painstakingly with different colors. So I love you if I give you that card. Speaking of love, this is the love of my life. We were young in college then, but I've always loved this picture of the two of us. And he was adorable then. He's still adorable. He's behind the camera. Linda, this is for you. My friend Linda was so sweet. She knew what kind of stamps I liked, and she got me all these lovely stamps. We'll be using them in every project we can come up with. I've been thinking about crazy ones that we could do, but I just am so excited about them. I just went to a stamp show that had this one that says hand stamped because I can't draw. And then, funny enough, I put it on here upside down, so I wrote, and this is upside down. Doesn't say that on the stamp, but I know now that it's upside down. Below it, I have this sectional that I bought that it was drawers that I bought just drawers, but they were really cool, heavy duty with this neat metal front. And so this is where I store bicolor baubles and extra glues and extra Tombow fillers, things like that. Then over here we have my just extra memory keepers, things, embossing powders, envelopes, Stampin' Up, alphabet, things like that. And then below it, we have where I keep my Nina White paper and my Graphic 45, things like that. I went to a sale and I bought this really cool luggage. This one holds my cardboard. You know how they say chipboard now? I don't use that term because I think it's kind of weird. I picture potato chips and a board, and I don't get that. But I will probably be referencing it as cardboard because that's kind of what I think of when I think of cardboard. The one below it holds my bigger project things that I couldn't find a place for anywhere else. I keep my 12 by 12 paper in my closet behind Bella, and you know, I don't want to reference it now. I hope I showed you everything. If I didn't, I apologize, but let me just say that I'm really excited about this venture. I don't usually talk this fast, but I was worried I would run out of time. I really want to make sure you understand that I'm not selling anything. I'm not doing anything for profit. This is only for fun for me and to kind of have an experience where I can experience things with other people that help them and help me to do things that are fun and exciting. And I hope you'll join me in this challenge. Again, if my hands freak you out or if my overall demeanor with the arthritis freaks you out, please go to a different channel. It would be better for you. And frankly, if you're going to comment on my hands, let me just say in advance, I know what they look like. I've seen them. It's not a surprise to me. But they're the greatest things in the world because they work and I love them. So with that, please join me and give me a thumbs up and like this video and subscribe to my channel and look forward to more videos. I'll be doing a Halloween stamp card within the next day or so. So thanks so much for watching.